Mom, Dad, I'm a asexual.
Hasan? Pogo?
Months here, stimmies soon.
Hasan? Pogo 90 when? It got me a date.
Five fucking months, boys. I hope you are all taking care of yourself and hydrated. Thanks for the himbo takes, Ayan. Sending you out soon. Love you all. Wicked in the chat. Chat looking kinda thick. Happy 6 months, socialist daddy. Love your content, Has. Hey Chad, okay, back to work, Saj. Hey Chad, thank you. Me 3 month Andy happy. Love the channel. Hey chat, what should I name my son? It's been 3 months already. Thanks Hasan for curing my brain rot. Has pause.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles. Folks, we are live and alive. I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic day. It is... Fuck. It is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021, 11:12 a.m. and I'm early, actually. I mean, I'm earlier than I usually would be, and part of the reason why I'm earlier than usually is because I rushed back from the gym earlier this morning. I took a shower and I was like, you know what? I don't want to wait. I don't want to keep the daycare kids waiting. I said to myself, Hasan, you're not gonna keep the kids in the daycare waiting. You're not gonna do that this morning. You're gonna work out. You're gonna get all your news. Okay, you're gonna learn everything you need to learn. You're gonna suck up all the information you can. Oh fuck. And you're gonna be on time. And I think I did it. I did it. I'm here. I'm excited. Oh fuck. Hopefully I didn't, blow something out. My arm hurts a little bit, but who knows? Anyway, this is the part of the broadcast, for those of you who don't know, this is the part of the broadcast where we talk about the personal news and what's going on in my life, in the brief hours of the day that you are unfamiliar with, that you are not watching, or that I am not live. And as far as personal news goes, there's really not much. I mean, I went to bed. I watched a bunch of No Pixel streams. Fuck, I need to get a high-res headshot. God damn it. Anyway, I just saw an email. I always want to say mod on now. It's just I don't know if it's kind of cringe or not, but I don't know if it's a cringe or not, but it's like completely stuck in my mind. Like I'm constantly like, hey, how you doing? Like some guy came up to me at the gym, and no one comes up to me at the gym, okay? Like normally no one comes up to me at the gym. This was like a nice person, and you know, he saw the Democracy Now hat that I was wearing while I was working out, and he was like, he approached me. He's like, wow, I haven't, you know, I never thought I'd see one of those hats here. Like, that's pretty cool. You know, I think he was like an Amy Goodman fan, right? And I am an Amy fan.
Hi chat, hi Ajan.
You know, I'm an Amy stan, I would even say.
Love hassle.
So I replied to him. I started talking to him, kind of like in role play. You know what I mean? Because the only interactions I have with strangers now is over the internet in a roleplay server. Notice how I said I replied to him, and that wasn't on purpose. I literally wasn't even thinking that I'm going to do that as a joke. Roleplay has turned into IRL roleplay for me.
1 year has comfy.
And halfway through the conversation, I realized, oh my God, I'm like low-key talking in an Italian accent to this guy.
Bobby,
he's like, oh, that's kind of cool that, you know, you have a Democracy Now hat. Like, you know, there was another guy here that was wearing a Trump shirt, and that's kind of weird because we're in California, right? So he's like, that's kind of weird that the guy was like wearing a "Not My President." You know, maybe he was one of those like punk rock. He's all tatted up. Maybe he was one of those punk rock conservatives. And I turn around and I'm like, yeah, you know, it's so fucking punk rock to love the police. Like literally, it just came out and I was like, and I realized that because every social interaction I've had as a consequence of COVID with random strangers in public has been in the on the No Pixel server, that now it's just, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like I just blurted out and it was really fucked up. Yeah. I was like, yeah, the owner of Equinox is a Trump supporter too. It just, anyway, but luckily the dude doesn't know who the fuck I am. See, I'm doing it. The dude doesn't know who the hell I am. So he probably thought, you know, there's this guy from New Jersey who is working out at the Equinox. You can't stop midway. You got to keep going. Your only option may be to never return to the gym. Yeah, probably. Yeah, now if I see him again, I have to do the Italian accent. Otherwise, he's gonna be like, you know, there's a guy that looks exactly like you who was wearing a Democracy Now hat, and
is my jam.
And he's Italian. Like he's like, you know what I mean? Have you done the Lowick survey yet? If you plan on doing it on stream, make sure you don't leak the address.
Thanks for the content.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, but probably not. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I have time to do it right now. Dude, you need to stop appropriating Italian X culture. I wonder why that guy was faking an Italian accent. Just tell him that you're preparing for a role. Oh.
26 years.
Preparing for a role to do what? Like in LA, in Los Angeles, there are people, you know, in Los Angeles, there are people that prepare for roles, right? Like there's actors and shit like that.
My GF bought your shirt.
And that's one thing.
Every time she isn't home.
But my situation is significantly more cringe than an actor who is like preparing for a fucking role. If you're Shia LaBeouf and you're method acting, that's cool. You get like, you know, you get some like fat fucking tats and stuff. That's sick. If you're me, you're a 29-year-old dildo who's role-playing on an internet roleplay server. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm actually role-playing right now as a character in Grand Theft Auto, the video game, in an online server that is basically like Second Life but with murder. And sometimes the character takes over. OOC. HasanAbi Italian face, you're canceled. Hey, you'll never believe this, but I was at the gym in LA and the guy was wearing a Democracy Now! Hat who kind of looked like you, started talking with an Italian accent. Craziest thing. Must be your doppelganger or something. Yeah, it's crazy. IRL, you're one of the LARP nerds? LMAO, one of my Zoomed patients was talking about Chile and how she and her friends say Chile because they heard some guy say it like that, and now they go through all of South America sometimes.
As mods.
I'm basically an insult. Do you know what that is moment? Yeah, literally. You're literally LARPing as an Italian. I know. I am the racial Dolezal of being an Italian, which is exactly the same as racial Dolezal, if we're being honest. I mean, Italian, black, what's the difference? Both POC.
3 massive stunlocks. Can I get a has buff chat?
Yeah, racial. Wait. Okay, that wasn't on purpose. The racial Dolezal was not on purpose. GTA banned in Illinois. Yeah, that's so stupid. Yeah, Raffaele Dallasano. Oh my god, that's such a good character name. Raffaele Dollezalo.
My favorite political Andy is
Fuck.
solidifying himself as a in-demand gaming streamer POG.
Turkey's geographically close to Italy. What's the big deal over here? Now you gotta go all the way and scream
Happy
C
7
every
months
time you
shitting
live.
on the chuds and libs.
How long were you watching Poke last night? I was watching him a lot. I watched him for a while, dude, and he's so funny. These guys, like, every time I watch someone, I'm blown away by their production. He had like scary music lined up for this, like, you know, crazy scary person that that he was interacting with outside of the there was like a ghost character that was like trying to convince him to murder someone. Anyway, you look a little pale today. You doing okay, bud? Dude, I'm doing super okay. But yeah, I mean, I went to the gym. And I worked out today, so I feel pretty fucking good. So, you know, time to get that fucked up. Time to ruin my goddamn day, you know what I mean? I love being outside, especially when it's really nice out. Like, not the flex. Boys, not the flex on all of you hoes, but Los Angeles weather is pretty fucking epic Fortnite poggers right now. You know what I mean? Actually, I'm just kidding. Full disrespect. I wanted to flex on you hoes, okay? Yeah. It's been 70 degrees the last 2 days, and it was a reminder that, like, it's kind of whack because, you know, you still get like seasonal depression even in fucking LA, which is weird. Like, it kind of defeats the purpose, you know what I mean? Like, I moved here so that there's no seasons. Like, I just want, you know, summer, right? And it still happens. So as soon as the weather turns around and it's like 70 degrees, I'm like, oh, it's so good. Like, Maron, what the fuck is going on outside? It's so good. It's so nice. Reminds me of my summers in fucking Sicily. You know? Yo, this is the funniest Haas mods. His depression is only seasonal Haas mods. Imagine trying to flex on the dude that lives in Hawaii, lol. Yeah, Hawaii's... I mean, there's a lot of rain in Hawaii, though. Right? Hawaii's sick. I've never been, but it seems fucking dope. Hawaii is SoCal weather on steroids. It's gonna be 50 this Sunday here in New England. You will see naked people here. Loves weather in video games, hates it IRL. Yeah. 42 in Boston. Today we're rolling the windows down. God, that's yikes. I mean, I know what that's like. I grew up in Ankara and Istanbul and also went to college in New Jersey. Like I've lived inside of the state of New Jersey. I know very well how fucking awful it is when the weather is like, you know, 0 degrees or whatever, and then finally it gets down to like 40 and you're like, oh, this is actually a pretty sick day. And I'm here to tell you that there is a different future possible. There's a different future out there, and that future is called living in California, Los Angeles. Now, I don't want you to do this because it's too fucking packed here, okay? We are slammed, boys, so don't come here. But, you know, find your own California, Los Angeles. I'm sure there's a place out there for you as well. Please do not come here. It sucks dick. It sucks ass. But, like, not in a cool, you know, gay way where you want to do that. But in, like, a I'm using that as, like, a negative way, okay? Don't get excited. Don't be like, oh, dick sucking. I'm totally on board. I mean it in, like, a bad way, okay? I need to clarify it. I hear Oklahoma is really good. I hear Oklahoma has incredible weather all year round. The tornadoes are fake. They're not real. People just say that so that no one goes there because deregulate housing regulations and build more housing in Cali. It could be better. No, when I say we're full, I don't mean about the housing. You can always have more housing. The problem is our infrastructure is dog shit, dude. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the housing part. I mean, we have enough houses to house the homeless people right now that we're not doing it because we're pieces of shit. But no, it's the fucking traffic, dude. It's the infrastructure. Like, roads are... Dude, one of the greatest things about COVID, aside from the 500,000... despite the fact that 500,000 people died, one of the greatest things about COVID was the fact that, you know, you could live from home, work from home, shit like that. And also, there was no fucking traffic. Set aside. And LA's COVID numbers are still some of the worst in the fucking world, but you wouldn't notice that if you were driving around in traffic. Every morning when I'm going to the gym, there's hella traffic because they're doing like road repairs and shit. So when I say don't come here, we're full, I don't mean that in a housing way, even though the housing prices are fucking dog shit and it's terrible. I mean that in a the infrastructure cannot handle people.
Wait.
I bought a ship and just received it yesterday because of you. Thanks for giving me the impetus to replay. You mean a Switch, Breath of the Wild, and relive my childhood through Animal Crossing? COVID is a myth. Hasan, remember the election is over. Yeah, it's not a myth. Anyway, that's all for personal news. Instead of going on a fucking rant about like Toyota Siennas, I'm just gonna tweet out that I'm live to all the Normans because we got some fun stuff today. We're gonna talk about the new description for cages that just dropped. We're gonna talk about in the Karachi, Pakistan, skateboard rollerbladers. And you know, really, and a bunch of other really dumb shit. Jordan compiled a bunch of different words for immigrant detention facilities. Okay, got it. We are going to be doing the John Oliver reacts today as well, boys. We are going to be doing that as well, so get fucking excited.
Come to Virginia, chat with
Quick random question: what's your favorite animal? Oh God, probably a dog. I know it's so fucking lame. I mean, if we're talking like exotics only, probably a Bengal tiger.
Less than 3.
But if we're talking like all animals across the board, dog. No, I think tigers are so incredible. They're awesome, dude. They're so beautiful. They have like cool ass fucking colors. Like you've never seen a tiger where you're like, that's kind of underwhelming. You know what I mean? Every fucking tiger is an experience. Like there's not a you never see a tiger and you're like, well, it's kind of a lame tiger, dude.
Hi, I love you, Hasan. At HasanAbi,
seeing them at the zoo is fucking crazy. They're so awesome. Yes, but it's not just about looks. I mean, they're great animals overall. I think they're sick. You should have said dolphin, you 12-year-old girl. What am I, a fucking Posadist?
Hi.
No. Dolphins are weird. Could you have given a more basic answer? Sorry, I should have been try hard and been like Mongolian river bat. I just made that up. That's not, I don't even know if it's a real animal or not, but you know, there you go. Are you happy? Oh my god, it's so sick. Mongolian river bat. Why did I say Mongolian? We are also going to be talking about trying to be less white.
Hassle.
I forgot to mention that because I know that's a big deal. And also, the clip that I assume was taken out of context of Matt Taibbi talking about QAnon and making comparisons between QAnon and Russiagate. Something I've talked about as well, by the way. Something a comparison I've made numerous times in jest with qualifications. But he went, you know how I make jokes about QAnon, BlueAnon, that sort of thing? Like, he flipped it and he said it unironically. It's incredible. What a sight to behold. We're going to take a look at that. But let's get started. First and foremost, daycare is... What the fuck? I can't... Daycare is open. Get in now. We're talking QAnon, BlueAnon. What else was I going to say? I totally forgot.
Arrived right on time.
Have you seen the Gina Carano Shabibo interview? No. And some solid reacts as well. Everyone's eating today. www.twitch.tv/HasanAbi. I gave the politics kitties, the politics frogs, like 3 hours worth of content yesterday. I think they're fine. People acting like it's not an obvious step down in her career. Yeah, I mean, yes. Becoming a famous conservative actor is pretty much a death sentence. Did you react to the Fort Connor drama yet? It's pretty delicate. It's not fucking delicate. It's pretty black and white. And also, yes, I did when it first came out. Funny story, I took part in a QAnon protest by mistake in London. I was just watching them and there was a woman screaming at people that were drinking coffee outside. She really thought she did something.
Hassel, thanks for helping me stay sane these last
Fort Connor is one of those stories that's like not delicate at all, actually. It's like surprisingly not delicate. Which hair products do you use other than drug? None. I wash my hair every 2 days or 3 days. And then I use minoxidil, or I guess like it's like Rogaine kind of. And I have that in my hair right now, and that's why it's like kind of weird. Oh, my hair has grown a lot My hair's gotten really, really, really long, and I need to get a haircut.
Hey.
Have you ever had strawberry orange juice? It changed my world. Strawberry lemonade is something I love. I love strawberries in stuff. I'm a huge fan of like strawberry milk.
I've watched you for a while now, but only recently
I like that more. I love strawberry milk. I like that more than I like chocolate milk. Is that weird?
Yo, much love from Estonia, Hassel.
This LA weather is wild. Can you ask Anne if I put my sweaters away or not? No, do not put your sweaters away. My mom doesn't know what LA weather looks like. Doesn't live here normally. No, we'll look at the Gina Carano interview. Bulk on drinking a gallon of milk a day. No, do not put your sweaters away. Los Angeles weather is really, really finicky around these times. I love oat milk too. Los Angeles weather around this time is really, really finicky. It's really terrible. It's gonna get horrible in May. Like, we could even see some fucking snow in May. You know what I mean? Like, the month of May is one of the wildest experiences you will ever have in a place that is not supposed to have weather like that at all. I don't know why. It's just that month. The month of May in California, or in Los Angeles specifically, is a government conspiracy. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know if it's like fake snow that the government created or something. It's very, very strange. It's very strange in May. But, you know, it's going to be good from now till, you know, May. It might get a little bit bad, but in Turkish we have a saying. Mart kapıdan baktırır, kazma kürek yaktırır. Wait, was I saying May? I think I meant March. It was actually March, not May. Mart kapıdan baktırır, kazma kürek yaktırır. It was March. I was thinking of March. So, yeah, when I said it in Turkish, I realized, like, oh no, it's not May, it's March.
Much love.
And that means the month of March will have you looking from the door, like peeking from the door to the outside, and it will make you burn your shovels and your pickaxes. And what that means is that implies that, like, the month of March has like really fucking crazy irregular weather. It makes you assume that, you know, springtime is around, and then all of a sudden it just debates you, and then you're left unprepared, and you have to burn your shovels and your pickaxes to stay warm.
I hope you have a good day, Arjan. Thanks for the streams.
Ben niye May March anladım ve Mart kapıdan baktırır yazdım. Evet, zaten oradan başlayacaktım.
POGGIES, dude.
Bro, I lived in LA for over 20 years. You were exaggerating so much. Shut up, bitch. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Maybe in the month of March you just like fly out or something and you don't know.
Woods pulled from accident in LA. Yikes.
All I'm saying is, once you pass the month of March, it's great. Like, once you get over the hump of March, not May, March, you're fine. Everything will be poggers. We say March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb in Ohio. Hasan has lived in California his whole life. Chat? No, I haven't. I've lived in California for what, like 8 years or something. I don't even know what the exact amount is, but anyway, what's your favorite artsy clothing brand / shop for women, but dudes is okay too? I have no idea. What the fuck? One second. Oh, fuck.
Shit. Six months with Hasan. Thanks for making lockdown bevel. Pog.
Sorry. This is like really.
As buff.
This is really important. What the fuck is going on? They found Hasan pictures from high school? No, bitch. I've like shown pictures from high school myself. No, someone was trying to steal money from my bank account. We did not allow a labor break to get back to work or we'll pay you less. No, yeah. Or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. Like sometimes you get that notification and it, like 90% of the time it's like you buying some random shit and someone send you the Alex Jones sex tape? There's an Alex Jones sex tape? Really?
Hasan? Vaccine ethical dilemma. I technically
On the toilet thought, I love having a stream in the background while I unwind Fallout New Vegas style. Your stream is like an in-game radio station.
BMI with asthma. I am in good health. Sports often just eat crap. Should I get the vax or let those who society deem more deserving get it? Thanks.
Have you thought about selling your toenails in a jar? I'm on a diet and I need low-calorie food to snack on. Who said it's gonna be a low-calorie? Was it an email? No. It was not an email. No. It was from my bank. Okay, let's go. Let's get started. Sorry about that.
Hassle.
Sorry. It's hard to fucking get myself realigned.
New batch Pogu.
Yeah, let's get started with Grand Theft Auto news, I guess, maybe. I mean, I watched it yesterday. It's not like a real thing, but... Or no, we'll get to that after, actually. It's kind of funny. No, I'm going to start off with the Matt Taibbi shit. So, Matt Taibbi has a Rolling Stone...
In Italy, we say crazy March sun's out, take your umbrella.
Has a Rolling Stones like show along with
at HasanAbi.
This is a cool hat, actually. I don't shit. Along with Katie Halper, thank you, chat. Along with Katie Halper, and you know, it's interesting show. They have a unique point of view. I like that. For I used to be a huge Matt Taibbi fan back when he used to have a. I'm a gigantic nerd, as you guys know. I used to love listening to Matt and Alex Perrine. And Alex Perrine, as you know, I've had on the show before, is one of my favorite writers in general. I used to love listening to their podcast called The Tarfu Report. And that was like a short-lived podcast. And they were very good. Like they had a really good back and forth. Alex Perrine does not agree as I've heard him talk about with a lot of the stuff that Matt says now. But they were good. They were good together. Like it was super duper fucking vocal fry. But they were good. I haven't really listened to the Rolling Stone podcast that much, but Matt has had some really interesting takes and has become more boomer in a while, in the last couple of months. And his takes have gotten really boomer like, and he hyper focuses on like cancel culture shit a little too much. I think a lot of these guys are doing it now, and it's very weird, but they focus most of their effort, it feels like, on all the cancel culture shit. So anyway, there's a group of people who are leftists or are left adjacent that have written extensively on like corruption and even like capitalist corruption and all of that.
Hey guys.
That now have become like anti-SJW content creators. And I don't know if it's because it's lucrative or if it's because it's genuine. These are the type of dudes that could generate a tremendous amount of money regardless. Like, you saying it's lucrative is kind of stupid. Like, you could say that for someone like Michael Treacy, but you can't say that for someone like Matt Taibbi, who's written like 100 fucking books. And you can't say that with especially with someone like Glenn Greenwald, again, who is very well respected outside of the latest stuff that he's doing. I think it's genuine. Like, they are genuinely becoming like anti-SJW guys. Target was just got in a serious car. Dude, what do you want me to do, man? Do you want me to turn off the fucking stream and go save him? Why do people keep saying Tiger Woods got in a serious car crash? Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I'm having a hard time putting my thoughts together. All right, we'll talk about it in a little bit. No, I can't go save him. That's metagaming.
Hassle.
Okay? I can't go and save Tiger Woods right now because chat told me so. I'll get banned. I'll get IRL banned because that's literally metagaming. Yeah, save XAQ. Anyway, what I was trying to describe, and I'm doing a fucking horrible job with, and I didn't even get to Aaron Mate, or I don't know how you say his last name, but this, you know, one of the Gray Zone boys is in the bottom here, and you know, they have some decent coverage on certain issues, and they have a lot of coverage when it comes to like international politics that I don't really agree with, and whatever.
FFS
Mate. So here's what they said. Let's just get started. Honestly, let's get started on this.
Now, you know, millions
video.
of people are without power in Texas.
Hold on.
And just remember, it was 2 years ago that Rachel Maddow went on her show and said the Russians could freeze millions of Americans to death by knocking out their power. So there's nothing under this democratic derangement syndrome that Russia cannot do. And that's why I call it Blue Anon, because if you compare it to QAnon, I mean, QAnon, you can argue on the face of it is crazier, but really there's a lot of parallels. Both of them see this like secret authority manipulating things and, you know, manipulating the country in its own interest. In the case of Blue Anon, it's this deep conspiracy involving pedophiles and the deep state. In the case of Democrats, it's Russian and
QAnon. You mean in the case of QAnon? You said
sorry.
QAnon.
Yes. In the case of QAnon. Yes. Sorry. In the case of QAnon, it's the latter. In the case of Blue Anon, it's like Vladimir Putin has the power with his like with his sophisticated troll farms.
I mean, I've made this joke before, right? Like, I've made this joke before. No, he's right. You're saying he's right, but listen, I have literally made this joke, except the difference is in the opposite way. Whereas I say, like, you know, I've called fucking Russiagate Blue Anon or, you know, Democrats QAnon and shit like that. But he's not fucking right. Especially because there is, one, more evidence to at least, like, recognize that Russia has made efforts, just like every other fucking foreign country would, to interfere in our elections. The impact of that is questionable. Then the deep state pedophile conspiracy cabal. Okay? So, and two, the impact of the impact is like literally not something you can compare. You have one, on the one hand, you have millions of people who've like lost their fucking minds. I've literally made this argument in the opposite argument that he's making, talking about how, like, yeah, we have our own fucking conspiracies on the left and liberal side, and it's Blue Anon, but Blue Anon is more grounded in reality than QAnon is, and ultimately the Blue Anon is nowhere near as bad as QAnon as far as like the impact that it has, right? And the funniest thing about that is, like, people were trying to say, like, well, it's Russia-phobia. It's creating Russia-phobia. Like, some of the dumbasses in my chat were literally trying to be like, no, actually, QAnon and Blue Anon are just the same because it's creating Russia-phobia. Like, America needs a fucking, you know, 67-year-old MSNBC watching lifelong libs to be on board with our foreign intervention in fucking Ukraine. And that's why that Russia-phobia psyop needs to exist. Like, hey, what are you, fucking stupid? Like, get the fuck out of here. No. Russia-phobia is such a weak fucking defense for Russiagate. The way worse problem with, like, likening every systemic problem that American democracy experiences to a foreign adversary like Russia has significantly worse long-term complications, because it's a deflection away from the reality, and it moves us further and further away from actually addressing the structural needs, right? But, like, Russia-phobia is not the fucking, you know, most significant problem. And regardless, the craziest liberals are what? Like, you know, the K-Hive and shit, okay? They're not going out and, like, trying to kidnap fucking governors, okay? They're not going out and trying to, like, I don't know, go to Russia and, like, kidnap the Russian ambassador or some shit. It's psychotic. Like, absolutely psychotic to make a comparison between these two if you are making it unironically. So as someone who has joked about this exact same thing in the past, I have to clarify that I've made this joke, but in the exact opposite way that he's making it, or and he's saying it as a serious statement.
And email hackers has the power to, like, elect a president and sow chaos and brainwash millions of Americans into, you know, not voting for Hillary and protesting in the streets over whatever issue. So there are a fair amount of parallels, and it's interesting to see that it never ends. It never ends. Even after Trump is gone, it never ends.
I mean, it's funny because QAnon in its specifics is about as crazy as a thing can possibly get. I mean,
so when Aaron Mate says that, you don't expect one of the hosts of the fucking show to retaliate with an even more insane fucking take. But here is Matt Taibbi, just, you know, raising the fucking stakes.
It never ends.
I mean, it's funny because QAnon in its specifics is about as crazy as a thing can possibly get. I mean, it's the explanation is so you would need like, you know, a chart this big just to be able to diagram the ostensible plot to it. But the underlying thought is that it's, you know, a sort of a coalition of Trumpists who are taking on these elitists who you know, want to take over the rest of society. So there's a core of like emotional truth animating the QAnon
insanity. Like, this is perhaps one of the most insane things he's ever said. I don't think he believes this. I think it is taken out of context, or rather that he didn't do a good enough job describing his position.
Theory, which is as stupid as possible. But the Russia thing is amazing because it doesn't really have a correlation to anything that makes any sense anywhere. It feels like, I don't know, or am I wrong?
Well, no, I totally agree. That's the thing. Democrats, when Trump got elected,
Yeah,
for being awesome.
Totally, dude, totally. Like, assuming that a foreign adversary of the United States, despite their like way less significant power in the global scale, would ever try to potentially interfere with American elections. That's insane, despite the fact that there is proof that they did try to do it. We can argue on the impact of it, and I am more so on the side of like the Matt Taibis of the world in regards to the Russiagate hysteria. I've been very critical of it for a very, very, very long time. Okay?
My grandma has
but like comparing that to a deep state pedophile cabal within the Democratic Party, and the emotional truth behind it is absolutely fucking insane. It's probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard someone say, which is why I refuse to believe that this is in context. That's why I said it's got to be out of context. There's no way a person with a fully developed brain believes this genuinely. There's no real emotional belief that's justifiable about crystal moms and divorced dads getting duped into thinking Trump is fighting a deep state pedophile ring, because here's the thing. Because that, if you believe that, you have to believe the premise that the actions that Donald Trump has taken is actually against the liberal elites. You know what I mean? Like, something that Donald Trump did as the hidden premise behind that sentiment is that, yeah, there's an emotional truth there, because like, yeah, Trump did take on the liberal establishment. Yeah, sure, they weren't like pedophiles or whatever, but he really did take on the liberal establishment or something like that. And he fucking did not do that at all. That's the most like disappointing thing I hear from this sentiment in the most charitable way. I am trying to look at this as charitably as possible, and even when I'm looking at it in the most charitable capacity, there has to be a premise there that believes that Trump literally took on the liberal establishment, and that is the most psychotic thing. Oh my fucking God. He did not take on the liberal establishment. How did he take on the liberal establishment? By what? Like, continuing America's wars? Okay? Droning more than fucking Obabe did? And even eliminating a part of the transparency within the droning programs? Like, there is no emotional truth behind QAnon. There just isn't. Okay? Saying that like QAnon has more emotional truths embedded within it than like Russiagate is I'm sorry, insane.
Chat, I've been AFK for a bit. Went THRU a huge slump, but we back.
Like, yeah, I guess the most charitable part about it maybe is like he's saying that, you know, those in power are generally depraved or something. But again, Trump fighting against those in power who are demonstrating how fucking depraved they are is psychotic. Trump is literally the definition of a bicoastal elite who is depraved himself, who was fucking friends with Jeffrey Epstein, man. I mean, are you out of your fucking mind? You should listen to Jimmy. No. in the tiny amount of time that I fucking have to myself, where I'm trying to fucking actually figure out what the hell's going on in the world, I'm not gonna spend that time watching Jimmy Dore. You fucking sick freak. Shut the fuck up.
Wowie.
I'll have you know my UK Trump loving dad is not a divorced dad. He's both divorced and a crystal dad. Yeah, I find this to be incredible. Like I find this to be an insane take for that reason. I find this to be an insane thing because like bringing up like Rachel Maddow sucks. Okay. I used to dunk on her during the Russiagate shit. She was one of the main like disinformation agents, if you want to use like liberal terms in QAnon, and if you want to keep going off the like the QAnon analogy, like she was literally operating like a disinformation agent. She brainwashed your fucking parents left and right. If you were fortunate enough to not have like racist shithead parents and you had like liberal parents instead, then Rachel Maddow was out there every fucking night talking about how Russia did this, Russia did that, and like everything happening in America is because of Russia. Russia this, Russia that, right?
Boogie woogie GG.
Ultimately, I've said time and time again that the impact of that is nowhere near as damaging as fucking QAnon. Okay? But she was doing that.
Subchat, it's been an up and down.
It's gone away.
With you,
who the fuck is still like, is there like an actual legitimate anti-Russian movement within the ranks of the Democratic Party and its followers and its constituencies? No. Not nowhere near in the same level that you see voter fraud accusations from the Republican Party, because it's built into the fucking heart of the Republican strategy. Republicans have been talking about voter fraud for years. It's all they have advocated for. There was a time and place when like the Russia shit was at its peak, and I used to criticize it all the time back then. Okay? But it's died down overall. It is disinformation. There was a lot of disinformation surrounding it. It's nowhere near as impactful.
Let's go.
It's kind of crazy to make this comparison in that way. Even with their conspiracies, Democrat lose versus Republicans. Fuck the hysteria. I feel like you only focus on the overblown media narratives regarding Russiagate. The contents of the bipartisan report details literally just about every member of the campaign and transition team actively seeking out Russian influence and withholding evidence. That shit should be put in further future history books. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. I'm not saying that like Papadopoulos and most other people in the Trump Trump campaign who then moved on to the administration as well didn't try to actively get help from Russians. But it's completely psychotic to assume that like every action that Trump is taking is because he's Vladimir Putin's puppet. Like, and a lot of liberals believe that. They did, and they still maintain that position. They did for a very long time. I had fucking arguments with some of them. I will not name them right now, but I had behind closed doors arguments with some of those fucking libs. Okay? Anyway.
4 months of radicalization.
No, not Austin. No. It's not Austin. No. Anyway. The point is, actually, before I continue with this, actually, I'm going to run an ad because it's top of the hour every hour, which means it's time for a 60-second ad break. Boys and girls and bees. It's the first ad break of the day. Okay, it's the first ad break of the day. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription. Use it on your favorite streamer. Hopefully, your favorite streamer is I.
No ads has mad.
HasanAbi. Use your fucking Twitch Prime on. HasanAbi. All right, here it is, lads. Oi, lads. Here it fucking is. Here's the 60-second ad break. Have you been here for this long and not start every lip sentence? I'm not talking about Austin here, guys. Okay. Do Turks feel remorse for genociding the Indo-Europeans that used to live on the Eurasian steppes? For instance, the Uyghurs genocided the Tocharians? No. I can tell you that no, they don't. Actually, they think it's fucking dope. Okay? Motherfucker coming in here with his dumbass, like, fucking 4th century history anger. No, it's good. It was actually fucking sick. Okay? Are you happy? Moron. Dumbass fucking larper, dude. Literally dumbass fucking like Christian fascist larpers over here, dude. Yeah. Do Europeans feel bad about genociding Neanderthals? Idiot. I like that we moved on because they know I don't deny the Armenian genocide, so they moved on from that. So now they're saying like, well, what about the Indo-Eurasian genocide? Like, oh, suck my cock, idiot. Like I'm fucking related to anything, or you're related to any of that. You know what I mean? Like those guys are fucking ancestors, right? Like you feel a connection to the fucking Indo-Eurasians living in the steppes, dude? Really? You dumb motherfucker. You absolute dingus. You stupid fucking moron. Don't worry. Your dumbass family's lineage inbreeding over and over again for a couple centuries is completely cleared. Any fucking racial or phenotype or whatever fucking connection you feel like you have. What is this, Assassin's Creed? You think you're Altair? You dumb Habsburg-jawed motherfucker? This shit makes me so mad. It's like, yeah, I learned it in history lesson.
Subscribe just in time to not see the ad. Daft Punk died so Craft Punk could thrive.
Yeah. It's like one step removed from asking me about how, like, when we went from fucking, fish to being able to walk on land, like, when my ancestors fucked his ancestors over or some shit.
Whoop whoop.
Okay, just join the stream and it's of course AOC on your screen. We're not talking about AOC. Isn't the emotional truth behind QAnon the people who have been manipulated and lied to by the GOP for decades having feelings of disdain for those in power because of the material conditions that continue to get worse? I think that's what he meant. Okay, there's charity and then there is that, dude. Look, I talk about the reality behind conspiracy theories, like some hidden truths behind conspiracy theories. But if you're going to consider that to be a real thing, then why the fuck, which is completely irrelevant because QAnon is a deflection from that, then the emotional truth behind Russiagate is very real as well. What the fuck are you talking about? You think like foreign adversaries don't constantly duke it out and try to retaliate in understandable for understandable reasons against the American empire in whatever way they can?
Same AD 6 times in 60 seconds.
Like all those Romeo boos are so weirdly imperious and kind of fash on the history memes instas. I mean, yeah. Well, so were the Nazis, and that's where they're like, that's literally, again, conservatives cannot look forward and only have the capacity to look backwards and recycle the same bullshit over and over again, which is precisely why they like hyper focus on like you know, fascist aesthetics, and you know, Rome and even like Deus Vult and the Holy Crusades and shit like that, because they're so fucking dumb. Like, ugh. I'm a Templar. OOC, I'm actually a Templar. And I'm supposed to be colonizing you. Please, I rolled a dice. OOC, I'm actually a Norse Viking. I'm from Daneland, and this is Fail RP.
What's poppin' over here, Mr. HasanAbi?
You are not being based or red-pilled. You are being cringe right now. Being this self-aware must be tiring. Will you be returning to Monka? Templarpers. Yeah, exactly. I watched Vinland Saga.
Yo.
Okay. Yeah, this is really dumb, and I think people that are still obsessed with the Russiagate shit are mega cringe, almost as cringe as the people who were advocating or pushing for the Russiagate stuff. You are mega cringe if you still talk about Rachel Maddow and what she said in like 2017 or 2018. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with your brain, dude? Like, what are you doing? Like, half the old Democrats, half the Democratic wine moms are no longer thinking about, like, you know, masturbating with a box of Franzi at a fucking Mueller to the Mueller reports or whatever. They've left that saga behind, and you're still like trying to rehash old shit that Rachel Maddow saying from like 2017. Come on. Now you're being cringe. Don't be cringe, Aaron Mate. Anyway. Matt Taibbi interview with Reason Magazine thinks of himself as a libertarian and not on the left. Yeah, I don't understand why he says that, considering the fact that his like pivotal work revolves around Goldman Sachs. I find that very strange. What is nobody talks to me for the next few hours. I'm trying to figure out a way to perceive this as misogynistic. What the fuck is this? Shirts. Funny how the iconic cute mittens come off when there's no TV cameras around. We're being gaslit in broad daylight, folks. I love that.
Love you, Has.
I see he only feels comfortable uncovering his hands when there's no women around. That's pretty good. Have we seen the Olbermann tweet about how he's lived with this Stalin stain of Russian heritage? What? Dude, Keith Olbermann has been batshit fucking crazy since 2010. Literally everyone in media knows this, okay? What the fuck is your problem? Like, you're the one who is seeking out the carnival barker and then going, oh, this guy's crazy, huh? Am I right? Yeah. He's been nuts. Like, he's been personally fucking insane since like 2010. Okay, he used to be kind of cool and had like decent takes. Like, Way back in the fucking day. Yeah, post Citizens United. Schumer is supposed to be taking on Q and shit, but he's such an ancient moron, he can only use a flip phone? What do you mean? Are you going to watch Biden's sleeper speech on 500,000 deaths? No, I'm not, because it's like, dude, global crypto fascists do use Putin's playbook. It's not that crazy. QAnon is part of these disinformation strat that helps weaken democracy. It's all linked to the United Boreal white unification conspiracy. Okay, dude. I don't know if I should just ban you right now or like ban you in the future when you say some even more psychotic shit. I'm just going to give you fucking 30 minutes to just cool off, okay? I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Just shut the fuck up. Have you seen this? What is this? The Q stuff was fucking insane on its face. An extraordinary claim with no evidence, but weird Nostradamus posts online. The Trump-Russia stuff was also absurd, but it was at least based in reality. Sometimes people do collude and commit crimes. Why is Tim Pool agreeing with me on the Q stuff? Didn't he also basically advocate for the fucking Q shit? Like, well, isn't he Q adjacent? Is this an effort to try to distance himself from the Q stuff? I've lived my entire life with the stain of Russian heritage in my family. Then came their conspiracy to alter the 2016 heritage or 2016 election. A year later, they hacked my computer, but now they've attacked my boy Panarin, so I'll make it official. Fuck you, Vladimir Putin.
Do an unbelievable job of, having a good support system for players for, anything we need. And obviously, this is probably a little bit unique for everybody, but
I think he was trying to make a joke, by the way, like saying I live my entire life with the disdain of Russian heritage. I think people are. I'm not gonna watch a 4-minute video on baseball. I'm not. Or wait, is it Rangers? What is this? Is this what is that? What sport is this? Is this hockey or something? Yeah, I don't care. I don't know anything about sports, and if you do know stuff about sports, you're fucking lame. Anyway, so. Anyway, as I was trying to say, yeah, you're a sports weeb, and it's very weird. It's been normalized. It shouldn't be.
Sub for 3 months now. Keep up.
Regardless,
with work.
I think he was just like making a joke. There's no fucking way that he like legitimately believes that like he's lived with the stain of Russian heritage. Like, it's so fucking dumb. Every person that is like, he's dumb for. Felix Biederman would disagree. He's a weeb and fighting dude. That's respectable. What? What do you mean? Yes, Felix likes UFC. That's different. It's acceptable because UFC is also stigmatized heavily. But if you like sports that are not stigmatized, you can be a weeb in public and like people will not. It's not. No, for the longest fucking time, you cannot compare the UFC to like football. For the longest fucking time, UFC was seen as like, UFC has gotten its time in the fucking spotlight in like the last 10 years. What the fuck are you talking about? Worst take? Oh my God, I'm done. I'm done having a conversation with literal 12-year-olds who've only been around for straight up 12 fucking years, who don't realize that like UFC and most fighting sports were very controversial for a very fucking long time, and that only recently has it become more popular. Just because you were born yesterday does not mean that there wasn't a time when other sports were completely normalized, but UFC fanfare and UFC fandom was still seen as something edgy and crazy. Shut the fuck up. I'm literally right. This is yet another fucking instance where absolute morons in the chat are confidently wrong. It is the most triggering thing to hear and see confidently wrong idiots in my fucking community. Boxing exists. Oh my God. Good, dude. You fucking owned it. Yeah, no, boxing is not stigmatized. No, boxing has fucking stigma associated with it too. Every time, and I'm talking about UFC regardless. I'm talking about MMA. I'm not even talking about fucking boxing. And even boxing has stigma associated with it. Okay? But especially fucking UFC, especially MMA, was literally not even, like, it was not even allowed, okay? It's only in the past decade where UFC has become a Norman sport that people like. So shut the fuck up. Also, Felix would agree with me on this take. It's so weird. Why do people do this? Why do you guys do this? Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why are you wrong? And like so fucking confident in how fucking wrong you are. It makes me so mad. You make me blind with rage, okay? You make me blind with rage when you say the most moronic shit like, dude, I'm sorry. Joe Rogan popularized BJJ, so actually UFC is really popular because that's all I've known in the fucking 14 years that I've been alive on this planet. Oh, if Felix says it, ... What, like a person who is incredibly knowledgeable and even did a fucking documentary series on fighting would agree with my take about fighting and the history of fighting, mixed martial arts? Yes, that is a person who would be somewhat of an authority on the subject. So, yeah, it is a relevant name to bring up in this conversation. The fuck is wrong with you? I'm not talking about XQC, I'm talking about fucking Felix Biederman. Anyway, the same dumbasses who were like, UFC's always been popular are the same dumbasses who think whenever I say Felix, I'm talking about XQC, okay? All right, we're done through the first stunlock of the day. UFC's only been extant for 3 decades, so like UFC being popular for like the last 12 years would still be 40% of the history of the UFC. Why are you shushing me? We're moving on. Oh yeah, libs cover. Yeah, let's talk about liberals and the way that they are regarding these these differently abled facilities.
This is not kids being kept in cages. This is kids. This is a facility that was opened that's going to follow the same standards as other HHS facilities. This is not kids being kept in cages. This is kids. This is a facility that was opened that's going to follow the same standards as other HHS facilities.
No, they're going to be nicer cages. Like, you guys are so fucking lame. I don't get it. Under the U.S. law, CBP is required to transfer most unaccompanied children to the refugee office within 3 days of taking them into custody. On Friday, roughly 750 unaccompanied children were in CBP custody awaiting placement in facilities overseen by the refugee office. According to data obtained by CBS News, at least 179 migrant children spent more than 3 days in CBP facilities in January, despite internal policy dictating that all migrants, especially minors, should be released within 72 hours. More than 5 of them were held for over 10 days. In December, at least 48 minors remain in CBP custody longer than 3 days. We can disagree and still be friends means liking a different kind of ice cream, not if it's okay or not to put kids in cages. First of all, they're called immigration overflow facilities, and I really don't have time for this. I'm going clubbing tonight, and I need to hit the tanning booth. Listen. You fool, you simpleton. You do not understand that cages are very different than overflow facilities. Donald Trump's inhumane, fear-based immigration policies are a stain on our nation. This is what he said in February 15th last year. We have to get him out of the White House and ensure our laws reflect our values as a nation of immigrants. Cecilia Munoz, who defended family separations under Obama, joins Biden's transition team. We talked about that back in the day. Biden committed to stopping deportations, but 26,248 immigrants have been deported under his watch. Over 1,000 were black immigrants from Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Cameroon. This was happening, this is happening this week. And the first migrant facility for children opened under Biden. And also remember, Joseph Robinette Biden wanted to stop the usage of private prisons in federal under the federal jurisdiction. He signed an executive action, and what did I tell you? When that happened, there was a carve out specifically for Department of Homeland Security, which is where the where the government uses private detention centers most frequently. You understand? So that's precisely why I said, well, this executive order is kind of bullshit because it does not remove the usage of private prisons in ICE detention centers, which is where most of that happens anyway. Moronic Neolib takes all of the authoritarian fascists who work for ICE DHS have immediately turned to compassionate and reasonable people now that the man is not the bad man is no longer president. Yeah. Is there any nuance with the situation? Is there any humane locations that unaccompanied minors could be housed? They should not be touching any part of the fucking immigration process, in my opinion. Like, unaccompanied minors should not be touching any part of the detention facilities or any part of those fucking processes at all. That is the most nuanced way that I can argue for this. Okay? This bad faith take without addressing the court blocking the Biden executive order. They're not cages, bro. It's obvious that they look more like dog houses. What? I'm uninformed about immigration and trying to ask in good faith. The simple problem is that we're keeping unaccompanied kids in facilities instead of providing them with direct help and assistance. Yes. Out on the street then? Yes, you're right. The federal government has no way of putting kids in civilian in the company of civilians. You're right. Where would we do that? Where would we ever? How would we ever process unaccompanied minors without literally treating them like criminals? How could that ever happen? Yeah, there is no fucking way to do that without literally traumatizing them by locking them up in fucking cages. You're right.
They're willing to critically think and do the right thing. Much love, brother.
How the fuck are liberals who argued against Donald Trump making these arguments now? Like, I thought you guys hated this shit. You're making the exact same arguments that fucking Trump supporters made with like maybe a little less words. Like you're not adding the extra spice on top of it. Like, well, those unaccompanied minors want to fucking kill my daughter and have sex with her. Like that's the only thing that you're not adding to it. But you're still defending the same shit. So what's up? Like, were Republicans correct in saying that you just didn't like it when you just didn't like it because the orange man was doing it? So now that the other old white guy is doing it, he's doing it in a better way. But they aren't cages. What's the problem?
Looking kind of big dog.
Guy, the Trump administration didn't consider them to be cages either. They said they were like, did they say overflow facilities? I don't know what the fuck they called it. So what's up? Why did you still acknowledge that it was a cage when Trump? It was a cage when Trump was doing it, but it's literally not a fucking cage now that Joe Biden is doing it. Like, I don't get it because they gave you a different description. We were saying the cages were bad because they weren't being treated humanely. Wait, so the expectation is that the very same ICE and CBP officers are now treating them humanely, magically, because Joe Biden is president? Are you fucking stupid? Did you just make an argument that these are humane cages?
Pogu.
I feel like I genuinely don't understand. I feel like some of the people are actually they're turning into the meme. I don't get it. The Biden admin contracted out a new child camp to a company with a record of abusing children, feeding children undercooked and raw food, and stealing money from their families when they send them money. The BCFS Health and Human Services is the second largest contractor operating in Texas. The group operates 6 facilities that makes up migrant children. It was founded in 1944, according to his website. At a Harlington facility owned by BCFS, employees were alleged to have struck up inappropriate relationships with children in their care. Children complained of raw and undercooked food. One child in late 2016 suffered an allergic reaction after a staff member gave the child a snack. Another BCFS facility in San Antonio, a staff member last April helped arrange for a child's family member to send money for the child, but when the cash arrived, the staff member kept it.
Blue cages of freedom feels strong, man.
The year before, an employee gave children inappropriate magazine pages that depicted naked women, while a few months before, staff members were found to have failed to supervise their wards closely enough to prevent one child from inappropriately touching 2 others. Reached by phone as a receptionist for BCFS Health and Human Services said she had been told to direct reporters' questions and federal officials at the Administration for Children and Families. The government has trouble putting orphaned American citizens in foster care. What makes you think that they can do it here at the drop of a hat? I think that very weak article, my dude. Oh, one kid had a peanut allergy. Big news. Oh, one kid touched others. Shit happens with kids, not news, bro.
Hutch playing D for this article.
I forgot to ban that person. Can you please ban that person? I can't believe Republicans were right. Like, I actually... It's the same shitty thing, but with an upgrade. Under Trump, it were cages. Now there are cells. I can't believe that, like... Yeah, I'm here to admit that, yes, conservative Trump supporters were actually correct when they said liberals literally don't give a fuck. And they're not going to care when it happens under Biden.
Seven months POGGIES.
Nobody's defending ICE. We just want to know where to put the kids. I've told you already, foster care immediately, or like to assign them over to the government that functions as foster care, not an overflow facility or not whatever the fuck you want to call it, that's still under, that's still operating in unison with ICE or to the Department of Homeland Security. And by the way,
The backbone of
the foster care system is also
duties of the state, like
broken.
creating humane housing,
So
and
instead of
infiltrating
offering
companies for
contracts
literal detention
like
facilities.
this, bad take, Hasan. Yeah, fund the fucking foster care system. Saying that foster care doesn't work in this capacity is not an argument as to why we should, you know, put people in prison still, like put kids in prison and you know, functionally jail them. Hasan, 1 month. Do you have any idea how long it takes to get prior policy changed? 1 month? No, I'm aware of how long and arduous the process is of changing immigration policy. The difference is, if you're going to make a step, make sure it's a step in the right direction rather than the rather than a lateral move. Okay?
Boy. Hasan impregnant and it's yours, please don't tell Will Hassel.
And also, like, the other part of this conversation that we're not talking about is, like, these unaccompanied minors, like,
why would anyone
where are they coming from? Why are they unaccompanied? It's not like they're fucking, half these kids aren't fucking crossing the border alone, okay? They're coming with their parents, and they're being separated from their parents regardless. At some point, connecting them to their parents should be the first priority. And their parents should not be going to prison either, by the way. None of them should be going to jail or prison or an immigration detention facility or a fucking, overflow facility or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's inhumane. Crossing a border should not mean that you are a criminal. Especially when you're literally innocent until fucking proven guilty. Unless you assume that immigrants actually don't get the same rights. They are lesser human beings than natural-born U.S. citizens and shit, and therefore should not be subject to the same rights that natural-born U.S. citizens are subjected to. That they don't have that same innocent until proven guilty offering. By you are guilty if you cross the border illegally. Please explain if I'm wrong. Okay. But not all border crossings are the fucking same. In my worldview, it should not be a problem at all. Okay? But even then, we have asylum laws. You can say, nah, they are. All you fucking want. You can go, la, 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 I don't care. They are all illegal. But that's not even fucking true. So you're completely wrong. And if you are a liberal right now and turn around and say, well, actually, all asylum seekers are actually illegally inside of U.S. borders, then you are a Trump supporter. You just have to admit that you love Donald Trump. You want to suck his fucking fat orange nuts because his actions have turned a normal legal process of asylum seeking into an illegal process. With his I keep forgetting the immigration policy that he pushed for the First Nations. Is that what it is? Like, or you have to stay in Mexico? Like you have to safe third country. Yeah, the safe third country immigration policy. You know anything about asylum, you would realize being held in a facility is a normal part of the process. I understand. I'm saying I wish it wasn't. And also, there is even under the Obama administration, you would be held in a facility, but at least you would be released to come back to your fucking court case. Okay? To your court date. The main difference here is that there is no releasing anymore, or there is no more. I mean, the catch and release policy was changed under the Trump administration. And they fucking lied about it too. That's different. You just said we should have open borders. I think we should have a European Union style open border policy, which doesn't mean you should be able to fucking cross no matter what, but you should still be able to, with ease, get paperwork and get to come into the United States. Absolutely.
Love you, Hasan.
With some restrictions. The argument against like undocumented immigration constantly revolves around, well, it's illegal, lol, why don't they come legally? Well, maybe if the process of legal immigration was as unrestricted as it once was, and the boundaries weren't so ridiculous, where you had to wait fucking 40 years to come into the United States legally, then, you know, it would make a little bit more sense. I love most of your takes, but you're a bit off on this, man. I have first-hand experience. I used to work in one of these shelters. I don't understand. What's the... Just, instead of fucking crying and saying wrong, you're wrong, just explain what you mean. And I assume your argument is still going to revolve around, like, no, these facilities are going to have some molestation. Anytime people are working with children, there's going to be molestation or some shit. Is that what your argument is going to be? The memo is a disappointing step backwards from the Biden administration's earlier commitments to fully break from the harmful deportation policies of both the Trump and Obama presidencies. While the Biden administration rightly acknowledges that immigrants are our family members, our co-workers, and our neighbors, for now it has chosen to continue giving ICE officers significant discretion to conduct operations that harm our communities and tear families apart. The interim enforcement priorities detailed today import the injustices of the criminal legal system and will lead to continued disproportionate deportations of black and brown immigrants. The priorities are use sweeping and overbroad presumptions of threat that have for decades resulted in bias profiling and harmful immigration consequences for black, brown people, including Muslims. The priorities presume that all recent border crossers are threats, in total contravention of President Biden's commitment to ensuring that people seeking asylum are treated with dignity. We expect better from the Biden administration and believe that the next 90 days will continue to reaffirm the need to force ICE to downscale its operations, including by ending ICE programs that tap state and local law enforcement for immigration enforcement, such as the 287G program and use of ICE detainers. ICE should be completely disbanded. ICE should be completely abolished. I would go so far as to say the Department of Homeland Security should be completely abolished. 100%. It is a very new organization. As far as defending our borders from drug traffickers, human traffickers, what do you think, the fucking FBI wasn't doing shit? Like, you think all the other agencies that we have were not already handling that? Take the small fraction of the ICE agents that specifically work on child slavery and specifically work on operations like that, and move it back under the fucking FBI or the CIA or wherever the fuck they were originally, considering the fact that ICE and the Department of Homeland Security is again, agency that is younger than me and a bunch of people in this audience, or at least like maybe a little bit older than some of the members in my audience. Okay? Hasan Topia, where shitty humans unable to control their own shittiness no longer exist. The human race has been solved. I've never said that. I am not a full-blown full-blown police or prison abolitionist in the sense that I think that it is an admirable goal to move towards, but I've literally never said that like crime is not going to exist. I've literally never said that like we are not going to need any sort of like regulation or any sort of force, whether it's called police or something else. It doesn't fucking matter. That still maintains a presence of law and order. I've never fucking said that. I'm simply stating that an agency that was created in 2002 after the fucking intense like anti-Muslim rhetoric that came after 9/11 that has caused a tremendous amount of hate, a tremendous amount of pain on so many black and brown families, so many families in general in a nation that was built on immigration is disgusting, inhumane, and it's only getting worse and worse. Okay? That sounds awfully statist of you. I am not an anarchist.
Yo.
People defending this child cages bull should try to spend a day in a big Mexican city, see if they like to stay there. The DHS absorbed the INS on March 1st, 2003. DHS absorbed U.S. Customs Service and Immigration and Naturalization Service INS and assumed its duties. Oh, you're answering your own question. Well, that's great. Be like this, chatter. Okay, when you have a dumb question, go and Google it yourself, and then maybe you can inform other people as well.
Yeah.
I feel like people forget that non-anarchist leftists exist, but if ICE doesn't exist anymore, how will employers be able to keep a group of workers they can exploit in fear of suddenly having their lives uprooted? INS used to do that. And that shouldn't happen either, by the way. But that chatter is correct. That's precisely how ICE operates. ICE is just INS on steroids that like the immigration removal part, the deportation system is insane. Like the fact that we have this, the fact that they can do dragnets and literally just take away the like ruin the lives of an entire block's worth of undocumented immigrants who are otherwise law abiding and just working day in, day out to make a honest living and I don't know, feed their fucking children is so disgusting, so cruel, so inhumane, and quintessentially American. Like ERO is disgusting. This is in my echo chamber. I'm out, Sag. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, a better world is possible, even if it seems impossible to you right now. Try to consider why it seems impossible to you. Like, think about that. Like, we're talking about fucking kids. We're talking about kids. Little fucking kids that are being locked in cages, okay? And you are comfortable with, you are telling me that you are more comfortable with kids being put in a detention facility rather than like given appropriate housing and appropriate funding for the systems that would deal with them. People saying like clipped and shipped and shit like that. Do you want to get banned? Like all of you. And there's like at least 1,000 of you who dropped that in here. Do you just want to get banned completely? Is that what you want? Like we're trying to have a serious conversation and your immediate reaction is to just go there? Anyway.
Thanks for the 4 months, Hank.
Saying that another underfunded government agency is not going to be able to handle the overflow is not a good enough reason to continue with the original agency that is like purposely being cruel as a deterrence measure. You understand? Fund the other agency, and that's great because then you are also taking care of natural-born U.S. citizens within the foster care program as well. It's not a good argument. Here, let's watch something funny for now, and then we're going to get to some other news as well. This is the police in Karachi, Pakistan, training an armed rollerblading unit to better prevent theft, harassment on the streets. If you get arrested by one of these rolly boys, I mean, you deserve it, honestly.
Tactical nuke incoming Komodo hype.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hi, 3.
You're like, that's like Bog has better fucking tricks. I mean, he has a lot of better tricks. Roly-poly ops. Are you shitting me, brother? This is the lamest thing I've ever seen. I'm sorry.
POGGIES Prime B.
I love that they decided like, what's more lame than bike cops? If they're roly-poly cops.
Just throw pebbles on the ground and you'll make a clean getaway. As we
This is a horrible idea. They're not intimidating at all. And you can own them with a fucking pebble or a stick. So what happens then? Like, if you have pocket pebbles, you can just do all the thefts you want. Or you just run up fucking stairs, I guess. Feel better than having American cops? Yeah, just run up a fucking flight of stairs. What's gonna happen? How are they gonna catch you? I'm sorry. In Pakistan, we have a real theft problem, and it's only gotten worse now that all the criminals know that they can get away from our cops by you know, having just a pocket full of marbles that they can just drop on the ground behind them as they escape to the nearest stairway. they've decided to increase the crime. This was a terrible decision. We do not know how to deal with it now. Dude, run up the stairs, but he's gonna be surprised when the rolling cops grinding the rails upwards, chasing them. Yeah, I don't think you can work against gravity. You know what I mean? What happens when you run on grass or sand? Yeah, do you just get away by getting onto sand or grass?
Gravity isn't real.
Wrong. They can just use their grapple hook and use the wall for momentum. Yeah, the other... Wait, hold on. We didn't even consider that. Yeah, what happens when you run uphill? I didn't even mention that. There is just like so many different ways that these guys can get owned. Like what? So, you know, criminals are no match for our roly-poly boys here in Karachi, Pakistan, as long as they're downhill of crime. As long as our law enforcement officers are uphill, we have all the advantage. I love that it opens with this too, because it's like the funniest, it's literally the lamest way to start it.
Happy chulo.
Like, don't criminal. I'm on my way to tactically apprehend the perpetrator. Criminal, halt! Do not go uphill. Like, another good way. Yeah, another good way to defeat them is someone pointed it out, but. Is just like run downhill and then stop. Like run downhill and stop really quickly and just watch the fucking cops whiz past you too. So even downhill you can fucking own them.
Imagine these dudes on world's deadliest police chases. Nobody escapes the inline wheels of justice.
Tight turns are an issue. This is an issue. You just shoot wrongdoers. They're so intimidating. Run in circles and watch them fall. When you're robbing a store and they come in rolling up the street and have the high ground. Oh no! He's like, oh no! Ahmed, they're rolling down the street. Brother. I told you not to rob. It's like, I told you not to rob. I told you not to rob the convenience store on the bottom of the hill. Why are you doing? Why did we do this?
Just wait.
And then the other guy's like, don't you worry.
You won't be lying.
Don't worry, my friend. I have pocket marbles. And then we can run directly into the sand. You laugh now, but just wait till they wheelie go into rocket mode and they fly towards you. It's not dumb because no one would run away from them. That's illegal. Then why don't they just use their regular police boots? Like, why did they fucking do this then? You know, no one will ever run away from the cops. Please play this as your cop RP. Hey, Coil, I'm gonna need you to talk to the devs to give me rollerblades. The only way I will apprehend criminals is if I'm on rollerblades, please. They did this because no one wants to walk up and down a Karachi boardwalk. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. More likely to run from these guys. No one wants to be the guy caught by rollerblade cops. Just point the gun behind them and shoot it. Yeah. Oh my god. Wait, where is it? Fuck, I missed it. Someone had a really good joke. This is why Bin Laden was so hard to be caught, because he been blading. Okay, we're done.
Hey, Ajahn,
yeah, Bin Laden was radical, dude.
Christian school I don't want to be at. What do I do?
But not in like the crazy fundamentalist radical way. He was just fucking radical, like. You said that as a meme, but I guarantee if you ask Coyle, he'd consider it. No, I mean, I wouldn't be able to catch anybody though. Okay, blowing yourself up with a gender reveal bomb is the first truly unique form of America. Gender reveal device. This doesn't seem like America. This dude, I don't know why this entire thing looks like it's in the UK or something. Gender reveal device explosion kills father to be. Several it was in Michigan, but several large-scale parties have gone wrong. A man from Michigan was killed earlier this month when he was struck by shrapnel from a small cannon-type device fired during a baby shower. I don't know why people have just not stopped doing baby showers. I find it very strange that it's still a practice. Or not baby showers, sorry. Fucking... gender reveal explosion parties. Why are people making bombs for gender reveal parties? When you find out the gender... Oh, dude, that's fucked up. When you find out the gender of the baby is orphan is fucked up, dude. Fucked up. All right. We are going to talk about Illinois lawmakers who want to ban Grand Theft Auto amid spike in carjackings in a brief moment. I talked about this earlier, but before we do that, it's top of the hour every hour. It's time for a 6-second ad break. You already know what it is. If you no longer want to see the ads, if you want to ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe. You do it for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Here's the ad.
In just the last few days, 3 teens have been arrested for carjackings in Chicago. People have been saying for months now that teens are running around the city and carjacking people like it's a video game.
But now local lawmakers are...
That is from, I think, GTA No Pixel 2.0, and that's, is that Mr. K? The leader of the Chain Gang. The dudes that we were talking to yesterday who were flexing on us. And they literally put that as B-roll. They're using one of their heists from the last...
In just the last few days, 3 teens have been arrested for carjackings in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, I guess they were robbing a fleece.
Now the teens are running around the city and carjacking people like it's a video game.
But now local lawmakers are doubling down on that idea, saying that video game should be banned.
Tia Ewing has more.
The carjacking suspects aren't even old enough to drive.
To survive, they have to set up and pull off a series of increasingly audacious heists.
Philanthropist Early Walker says violent video games like Grand Theft Auto could be influencing their young minds.
Yeah, guys, there is absolutely, no reason to look into the material conditions. There's no reason to look at a direct link between, you know, a pandemic that has left many jobless and the increase in crimes, or rather, the fact that schools are not open currently and after-school programs are no longer in operation. Like, that certainly has nothing to do with the increase in crimes, especially amongst the youth. In Illinois, it's a game that came out in 2014. They're right. They're right. Maybe if we fucking ban Grand Theft Auto, they'll make a new one. So, you know, I'm on board, dude. Fuck it.
Just admit it's your
Maybe
fault.
finally fucking Rockstar will make a new goddamn game rather than just rely on having the same fucking game, not even remastered, for every goddamn new gen, next gen fucking console that comes out. I don't know. Hopefully, this will maybe get Rockstar to move on Grand Theft Auto 6. Okay? Wasn't the violent video games around GTA 5 started by Rockstar's marketing push to push sales and put in the light? Yeah. 8-year-old game, 24-year-old franchise, and the recent robberies are directly linked to it. You pretend to be more SJW than you actually are to appease Twitch staff. Hard to believe that you actually believe half the shit you say. Trainwrecks is right about you. Nice bait account, my friend. Thank you for your participation in the conversation. But we are not going to be having that right now. Hasan, I would like to invite you to join my task force of muscular people to break the kids out of cages, but I can't tell if you're fat or muscular. Please tell them your shirt off. This guy has been asking me to take my shirt off since the beginning of this stream. There you go. You can get fucking wrecked as well. I was waiting for an opportunity to just like hit him with something. Donna's a lot to answer for corrupting the youth. I know. In GTA 5, why cops kill people too? Hasan always defends his streamer friends. KW. Thank you for your 13-month subscription. Here's a 1-day ban for you. Using your Twitch free subscription as an opportunity to say some stupid shit. You are lucky that I did not fucking ban you permanently.
Easy clap.
Next time I will ban you permanently. Tyler 13 or whatever your name is. Yeah, there is no evidence that that video games cause violent behavior. There have been numerous studies on this. There's countless studies on this. The only thing you can link it back to is aggressive behavior. But aggressive behavior has the same kind of correlation with sports as well. So it's bullshit. Are we going to ban? And no one is making the argument that we need to ban fucking sports because, you know, kids are fighting each other. Want to go rob a local bank with me? GTA inspired me, of course. No. Correlation does not mean causation regardless. But you think after 30 years of failing to ban video games, they'd knock that shit off? Yeah.
Pepe La. I'm subscribing over here.
Let's keep going.
This is in the game where an individual pulls up to a car, bumps the car, taps the car, gets out, pulls the individual out of the car, carjacks the car, pulls off.
Walker met with Illinois State Representative Marcus Evans in January, and from there, legislation was drafted to amend a 2012 law preventing some games, including Grand Theft Auto, from being sold to children in Illinois.
House Bill 3531, which will ban these video games and send a message.
Different versions of Grand Theft Auto have been banned or censored in 5 different countries, but never in the United States. This past Friday, a former police officer was carjacked in his own driveway in the south suburbs. The car was later found in Harvey with the young suspect still in it.
They don't care they feel they're going to get right back out, especially juveniles.
An expert told us the game can be the cause of violence, but it isn't the only factor.
What? An expert? Who's the expert?
Should it be banned? I think so. However, there's probably lots of reasons for theft and lots of reasons for violence.
Tia Ewing, Fox 32 News.
Like, what is this expert? Like, you found one guy? Really? Imagine wanting to ban a video game whose title is derived from a crime that already existed on a large enough scale to have a video game named after it? Yeah. This is the next level. It's because of that damn game. Yeah, no, we need to ban. Can we ban No Pixel? Your streams have made me care about Italians. Yeah. What a great fucking what a great little beat, dude. What a great little 2-minute video. Like, if correlation meant causation, since the advent of video games, crime at an international scale has decreased. So what's up? So I guess video games are literally having an inverse effect with the increase in crime. Like they are decreasing crime overall, both in the United States and worldwide. Pretty awesome. That's pretty sick. It all started when fucking Tetris came out on the market. Can we ban Fortnite? Ever since its release, there's been numerous cases of kids wanting to work in the construction field in crank 90s.
Catching up. That reaction to the Matt Taibbi comment was kinda weird. He is saying the same thing plenty of leftists has been saying for years now about Q.
What? We ban mafia movies inspiring too many mafias? Yes, we should. This young Italian guy by the name of Umberto Antonio Donato Pecorino, would you believe it, literally inspired himself to do crimes and like figure out a way to build a crime syndicate, aka a Cosa Nostra, by watching a fuckload of Italian mafia movies. We need to start banning them immediately.
Banning No Pixel.
When members of Congress fight to set the minimum wage below a living wage, they are playing a role in creating and preserving poverty in the United States. The $15 proposal with multi-year phase-in is already a deep compromise. $10 an hour is legislated poverty. Mitt Romney and Tom Cotton have rolled out a plan to raise the federal minimum wage to $10 per hour incrementally over 5 years, tied to a mandatory E-Verify for employers and stricter penalties for hiring people here illegally. Dude, I have no problem. As long as you make a more humane immigration policy, I have no problem with like actually and not punishing the immigrants themselves, but instead punishing businesses. If you truly want to stop immigration, if you truly want to stop undocumented immigration, you punish businesses. You punish the business owners. You don't punish the fucking immigrants, okay? And that never really happens, and that's precisely because the immigration system that we have right now, not the culture war associations with like crime and rape and whatever the fuck like Republicans try to fearmonger with, but the actual reason why we have the immigration system that is so inhumane that we do is so that we always have a comfortable 11 million population that is undocumented to use against the documented worker population, because that way you can truly depress the wages by saying, hey, if you don't do it, there's always someone else that can do it here. That's precisely why the real reason or the real way to fix workers' rights revolves around immigration rights, revolves around immigration reform, revolves around actually giving documentation to all undocumented immigrants living in U.S. soil. Literally always been like this. Mexicans now as Irish Italians in the early 1900s. E-Verify with no deportations can help prevent exploitations of undocumented workers. Yeah. But it's not just E-Verify. Like, if you literally said, we are going to throw you in jail for hiring undocumented immigrants, a lot of these, first of all, the agricultural industry would literally fall apart. It would fall apart. Meat packing, meat producing would fall apart. There would be nothing. They would have nothing. Chicken factories would no longer exist, okay? Because the moment that you say, The moment that you decide we are actually going to enforce punishments on business owners rather than the fucking undocumented workers that are working there for like super low wages, the moment you do that, it changes. It changes everything. Yes, we will talk. Is the John Oliver thing about meatpacking? Okay, we're gonna watch it now. Okay, how about that? I'm gonna watch it right now, you fucks.
Story is going to be about the grim conditions humans are facing working in meatpacking facilities.
Oh my God, vegans, you're no longer allowed. You're no longer allowed to talk going forward. No, I know this is gonna be triggering. I'm telling you right now, trigger warning to the fucking vegans. They're talking about the workers, the human beings that work inside of the meatpacking facilities rather than the, unethical nature of meatpacking in general or whatever the fuck. So if I hear you fucking shitting on undocumented immigrants and saying stuff like, well, they shouldn't work there anyway, like those jobs should not even exist, I'm going to ban you. So I'm telling you right now.
If you ate meat today, it probably went through one of them. And meatpacking is a highly consolidated industry. Roughly 85% of beef.
It's weird that high minimum wage countries have low illegal immigrants, but high legal migrants. Yes, because the reason why you want to keep wages low, the reason why immigration is so fucking draconian in America is not because like everyone wants to come here in the way that like some people like to mention it, or some people like to talk about it. It's because the reason why wages are low is because we use a permanent underclass in the form of undocumented immigrants, which I'm sure John Oliver is going to talk about. I've talked about it a lot. All of those Nordic immigrants, are you kidding me? Like Norway has a pretty fucking high number, a pretty high population of immigrants in Norway, right? Like this notion that there's no fucking immigrants in like countries that have social safety nets is so stupid. Switzerland has a higher number of immigrants, higher percentage of immigrants per capita than the Switzerland has more immigrants per capita than the United States, for example. More people are foreign born in Norway than the U.S. European countries don't have comparable immigrants. Take as low-key racist. Yeah, because they're saying that like, oh, they're coming from good countries. That's
agree,
it.
But we still should let in immigrants more.
That's literally it. There are more people in countries than there are in cities. So what? Are you under the assumption that like there is a percentage or there's a number where like this doesn't work? When we're talking about per capita, when we start talking about percentages and you literally go back to the totality, you're only demonstrating your lack of reading comprehension. That you're only demonstrating that you're too stupid to understand what we're talking about.
#PP.
I meant people from Nordic countries trying to come here talking about the U.S. perspective on immigrants. No. I know. When you said all those Nordic immigrants, I understood what you were trying to say. I use that as a jump off point to say that there are these countries often have a higher percentage of immigrants living there than the United States.
4 months Stan Luna.
People who have empathy for humans but not for animals that have just as much capacity to suffer bewilder me. Okay, well, keep being bewildered.
It's going to be saying something, given that Tyson also makes ranch-flavored chicken chips, a snack one customer...
Okay, that actually kind of sounds sick. Fuck, there's something wrong with me, dude. I don't know what the... I don't know what it is. It's just like, I think I would eat the fuck out of that.
Viewed online with a note.
Of the investigation.
Yeah, it's the fucking workers' fault, dude. I can't believe you're setting yourself up like this. What do you mean? I don't see the problem here. He took off his gloves before pissing. Yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit. He touched my chicken. Hey, guys, not to shock you, but like chickens also poop and stuff too and have piss and pee in them. Like we're eating fucking animals, you know?
That is disgusting.
Well, yeah, it is. The combination of urine and pork is a bit upsetting. It's one of the many reasons I have no interest in seeing Miss Piggy's sex tape. But it is not just that man.
Why does he do this? Why? Every episode, I'm gonna stop watching John Oliver. Every episode, there's like at least one fucking furry joke, dude.
Exactly how grim conditions can be for poultry.
Holy shit, they did an entire report on denial of bathroom breaks in poultry industry, dude.
Workers, but the thing is, this is totally.
This is funny because, like, when people talk about, like, you know, anarcho-capitalist dystopia, like anarcho-capitalist dystopian futures, you usually associate horrific workplace conditions, exactly like this, with said ANCAP dystopia. But it's already here. I forget who made this point about, you know, climate change and what's happening in Texas is going to be our future. Someone was criticizing that take, saying, no, it's not going to be happening in our future. It's happening right now, and it's going to continue happening. And the same could be said about horrific workplace. Was it Matt Chrisman? Yeah. The same could be said about the workplace conditions that we are subjected to right now. Not all of us, obviously, not myself. I mean, I do work for a measly 2 cents an hour wage in comparison to others, but this is the reality. And all jokes aside, this is the reality for a lot of fucking workers that work in production lines or even Amazon facilities, for example. $2 cents an hour per sub. Not it will happen in the future to whites is the real concern here. I mean, it's happening right now to whites as well.
Our country.
Hey, but thin blue line, by the way. You know, thin blue line, boys.
This is down to like a machine. Unless, of course, it is a fun machine like an immersion
My
blender.
husband's arms used to seize up. They'd sink them in water and keep going in the pig plant in Canada.
I'd love to be treated like an immersion blender.
Wait, I thought it was highly regulated after the late 1800s. Meatpacking is still this unregulated in 2020. My guy, you are coming to the realization that I came to about child labor in the United States, like last week. I genuinely thought, like, you know, child labor was abolished in its entirety in the United States of America, or there were, like, significant regulations revolving around child labor. I was wrong. When they passed those regulations, they just lessened the amount of poop that was allowed in your food. Ha ha ha.
Refugees. Quick word about Bo Pilgrim here. He co-founded a company.
By the way, there's like functionally no difference between bribes and campaign contributions. It's just that there is a legal limit to how much you can bribe someone with campaign contributions, as long as you're not utilizing dark money and you know, super PACs, in which case then you have no legal limits. But it's just legalized bribery and corruption in the exact same capacity. So just remember that.
Company called, which have made it harder for workers.
He's gonna have to tie this back to deportation, right? Oh, this in Purdue. he has to tie this back to deportation, because deportation is used as a tool, a mechanism basically of enforcement whenever the workers organize, whenever undocumented workers organize to demand back pay or to demand like better workplace conditions, because there's a lot of sexual harassment that happens in this industry for some fucking weird reason. I don't know why it's like higher than like all these other industries. Then boom, next day you have ICE show up and round everybody. He mentioned it already, kind of. Yeah.
Hurt on the jobs do get to visit them.
Every single part of what John Oliver is describing is a consequence of our regulatory system being dismantled and jurisdiction being taken away from these organizations, specifically and deliberately by those in positions of power who line up the pockets of all of the chicken factory owners, of all of the chicken factory owners lining up the pockets of all of our wonderful representatives. Okay? It's destroying all manner of regulation and leaving it a shell of what it has to be in order to maintain workplace safety, which would then in turn create higher quality products for you as well. But as long as the commodities that you are getting served are relatively cheap, okay, and they are cheap in comparison to other countries, then you shut the fuck up and you overlook it. This happens in every part of our lives, in every workplace, okay? And that's why when I say more regulation is necessary, or labor unions are a necessity, or any number of different things, like we need to give the government more money, we need to tax the wealthy, people look at me like I'm some fucking psychopath. A better tomorrow is possible if only you can start by dreaming of a better tomorrow instead of fucking crying about how, well, chicken is going to be, 20 cents more expensive per pound, and the costs are going to be pushed on to the consumer. Oh, you watched Adam Curtis then? No, I did not watch Adam Curtis. I have watched Adam Curtis documentaries in the past, but this is what I advocate for all the fucking time. I don't need to hear it from Adam Curtis yeah, this is just pretty basic stuff. Hey, Hasan, search a foster farming worker dies in Turlock. Read about how messed up story about totally preventable death. What does this say about the Americans who accept this trade-off? No, they don't. They don't accept this trade-off. They are unaware that this is a trade-off that they are engaging in. There are Americans who do accept this trade-off because they have nothing to trade for it. Upper middle class, professional managerial class Americans, those who work at the corporate office for Tyson, are the ones who are overlooking this trade-off or not really considering it, okay? They don't want to pay more for chicken. They don't want to pay more in taxes. So they say, yeah, fuck this. No, this is fine. They themselves are in a worse off situation too when, we don't have Medicare for all, for example. So they can't just like leave their job and go get something else, or maybe even pursue something that is a passion of theirs, lowering their work hours, because if they do that, they might lose their health care and therefore go into medical bankruptcy if they, God forbid, get caught up with some sort of illness. So they are also being sold a shitty hand that they're unaware of, but it's not as horrific as those who work on the line or in directly a part of the production. But ultimately, it's worse for everyone.
The plants. The limits to what they're allowed to do once they're in there can be genuinely ridiculous.
In the Southeast, where a huge proportion of the poultry industry resides.
Austinox, but in the meantime, we should keep buying from these companies, right? Oh shit. Sorry, Vegan Andy Austinox. I didn't realize the agricultural industry actually was really fucking famous for its workplace conditions. Oh my God. The fucking Mexican day laborers that are working while California is literally on fire, those guys are actually, they love working for fucking $10 or not $10, whatever, like 10 cents a fucking hour. They love that shit, dude. So I know that, you know, vegan food production is significantly more. Are you saying that the plant agriculture industry is worse than the meatpacking industry? No, what I'm simply stating is that plant agriculture industry also has the exact same kind of problems, because those problems do not derive from the ethical nature of your fucking animal production versus like plant production, but from capitalism. You drop that whataboutism here, but the reality is that seeking a more ethical way of consuming food in a conversation that we're having about workplace conditions is silly, because it makes it seem like this doesn't exist in the plant agriculture industry.
Go ahead last year when the pandemic hit.
This is what I was talking about, by the way, and the exact same thing happens with deportations too. It is cheaper to. Okay, it is cheaper to price in these fines and keep hiring undocumented immigrants and not pay them as much. As long as, you know, if they act out, as long as you know that you can use INS, you can use ICE to fucking kick people out of the country and like ruin their lives, you're totally willing and able to pay those fines. Everything will be fine. Too many fines results in the adverse info that prevents new contracts from being awarded.
Corporate workers immediately worked from home because it wasn't safe for them to be in the office.
But the same concept exists in the PG&E wildfires and PG&E safety or PG&E infrastructure problems. The same exact problem exists within like Boeing, for example, not testing out, or it's the Ford Pinto conversation. Okay, that's what this is. It is the age-old libertarian Ford Pinto conversation. It is cheaper to fucking not pull all of your cars from the field and change their, and make sure that their safety is up to the standards after you recognize that there is a problem with like there's a problem with their brake system or some shit, right? It's cheaper to just keep selling them, knowing full well that some of those brakes might actually fail. And then eventually deal with a class action lawsuit that comes afterwards, than it is to pull all the cars, or the Volkswagen emission scammer systems too, exactly. Then to pull in all the cars and fix them. It wasn't the brakes, the explosive hit from behind, right? Is that what it was?
But aren't down. So what can we do here?
One of the wonderful things that the Trump administration did when they were using the Defense Production Act was to use the powers offered to the executive branch to expand upon meatpacking facilities and expand upon limit the legal liability that they had during COVID, which was pretty fucking tight. Instead of using the DPA to ensure that we were creating more masks and shit like that, they used the DPA to make sure that meatpacking facilities were not subject to the same legal liabilities that other facilities would be subject to during COVID, to ensure that chicken production did not stop or meat production did not stop at all. Even if thousands and thousands of people were getting fucking sick.
Well, at least line.
Gee, I wonder why Joe Rogan never talked about any of this. He's been living in Texas for a while. Because Joe Rogan is fancied as the working class whisperer, and he does have some very real experience in poverty from his upbringing. But ultimately, he's still a fucking half billionaire, okay? Who has been far removed from the realities and any sort of empathy that he could fucking generate for actual workers, okay? And I say this as someone who also lives in fucking Los Angeles and is a Twitch streamer, but at the very least, I still have an understanding of what people go through. Okay? He does not. And that's why he doesn't fucking talk about this shit, because he doesn't care. Because his best friends are fucking Elon Musk and other incredibly, insanely wealthy people. Not a half billionaire confirmed. Wait, how much money does he have? I thought it's like nearly. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's like. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. He's a 1/10 billionaire. I am so sorry. Yeah, what a fucking lame ass. What an absolute lame ass. And here's the thing, okay? Yeah, what a broke boy. Smells like broken here, Joe Rogan. More like broke Rogan. Okay. So lame. Oh, I can't get over it. Wow, who's more poor, Soda or Joe Rogan? Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, Joe Broken. Where the fuck was I? Oh, the thing I was gonna say is, the reason why people like Joe Rogan are still considered like, you know, working class whisperers, despite the fact that they don't give a shit about this stuff. Telling Rogan is too rich to care and getting pissed when someone tells that to you. Yes, there is a difference between the things that I say and the things that Joe Rogan says. If you cannot comprehend the difference between the things that I say and the things that Joe Rogan says, then you are too caught up in the fucking aesthetics of the conversation and too stupid to understand what I'm saying. When I'm talking about workplace conditions, okay, for people who are making like $7 an hour, and I center my conversations around that sort of thing rather than, I don't know, some fucking incredibly wealthy New York Times writer got fired for defending the usage of the N-word or some shit, and this means this is cancel culture, and this is all we should talk about for the next year and a half. That means, you know, I'm an elitist, but the people that are doing that, the professional managerial class, media class fucking convos over and over again, those people are actually the real working class whisperers. It's fucking bullshit, okay? There's a difference between the things that I advocate for and the things that others advocate for. Having said that, I still, you know, enjoy Joe Rogan's podcast. I still watch them. When you argue about social issues, you sound like you share a bit of detachment from how brutal the financial issues are for the poor in the U.S. Why? Why? That sounds like an incredibly white statement, brother. I'm sorry to say this, but social issues directly align with the problems that working class people are subjected to, considering the reality that the American working class is still, and we also found out in the fucking meatpacking plants at least, predominantly 68% black and brown. So their social problems also are additionally compounding factors onto their oppression and struggle. So I'm sorry that I don't, you know, hold on to the fucking assumption that like every working class person is actually white. Okay?
For what states number more than 1,500 employees there contracted the virus.
Because you equate them? What? What do you mean because you equate them? I always say that social issues that revolve around identities is a compounding factor on top of the class disparity, on top of the class issues that working class individuals face. I give you the fucking Oprah analogy all the time. Oprah is a black woman, okay? But Oprah, by virtue of being a black woman, is not worse off than a white homeless person, okay? No, I'm a day trader with a podcast, and I'm pretty sure all workers are racist white people. Exactly.
And 8 injuries and the deaths. You frankly only need to...
Could you explain? No, Beta, I honestly wonder why she's not better off. No. Oprah is significantly better off than the white homeless person. I'm saying that class is the primary function there. What the fuck are you saying? She's a billionaire, dog. What are you, crazy? Class is more important in that regard than anything else. But if you look to middle class individuals, or if you look to working class individuals, a white working class person in a similar annual income level is better off than a black working class individual with a similar annual income level. Okay? Because racism or systemic issues like racism add a additional burden.
To take a peek. It really is.
He wasn't baiting. I think he misunderstood what I was saying. He thought I was saying the opposite of what I was actually saying. How do you combat the talking point that Asian Americans are doing fine? My brother loves to bring this up. What does that even mean? Like, Asian Americans are doing fine. You need to give me additional info on this. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what is he bringing it up for? What is the purpose of him bringing that up? Anyone that says Oprah's more oppressed or worse off by virtue of being black is full-on racism below expectations. I mean, I don't think people say that anyway. That's why I bring that example up, because it's a great example that shuts off even the most hardcore libs. They use that to imply that minorities are not oppressed because, look, Asians are doing great. Okay, so there's a difference between, especially if you are looking at especially if you're comparing Latin American immigrants or Latino the Latino population, the black population in the United States, and comparing them to the Asian population. First of all, no matter what happens by the third generation, most ethnicities normalize. Like, no matter where you're coming from, no matter where you're immigrating from, whether you're undocumented or documented, by the third generation, you have become Americanized, which means you are getting worse grades overall, and it means that you have you're earning less overall, that sort of thing. You just become Americanized, and this is consistent with every fucking ethnic background throughout history. Okay, throughout fucking history, because by the third generation, you're fucking American. Okay, doesn't matter if you're Mexican. It doesn't matter if your parents came from, or your grandparents or your grandparents' parents came from Mexico. Doesn't matter. Okay, so. The model minority myth. Look at Lang Buddha, the struggling small business owner of the Rooster's Rest. Yeah. As far as comparing the Asian population in the United States to the black population is silly, because while some members of the Asian community were oppressed with wage slavery and numerous other things, numerous other ways. Ultimately, the way that it currently works is that maybe by virtue of Latin American countries being able to Latin American countries being in close proximity to the United States, closer in comparison to Asian countries, obviously, the socioeconomic conditions of those who are coming into the country from Latin American countries, from South American countries, is different than Asian countries. I myself am a great example of this. I immigrated here from Turkey. I come from a relatively affluent beginning and a relatively affluent background, and that is usually the same for people who are able to come to the United States from India, or people who are usually able to come here from China and numerous other places. So therefore, the model minority of like Asians, that mentality oftentimes stems from a lot of wealthy Asians being able to immigrate into the United States and drastically changing the outcomes for first-generation immigrants in comparison to people who have been subjected to chattel slavery, rape, genocide, complete erasure of their identities and backgrounds, reduced to just a slave and nothing more, and then 100 years of segregation, which is systemic discrimination that's completely legal, and systemic racism that still permeates through all of our institutions. So the legacy of that cruelty permeating through all of our institutions to this day. You can describe it to your friends like this. And then if you really want to trigger racists, just say, well, you say that, but then the most model minority, the most model ethnic background is Nigerians. Because it's true. Nigerians are significantly more educated than every other ethnic background and every other group in the United States. Social justice decide what video is up next. I need my white supremacist Coke video line for diversion. What? Just trigger them by saying Nigerians are better, more educated than whites overall. And then watch them fucking lose their minds at that take. Because they will lose their fucking minds at that take. Every time I bring that up, there's two takes that even liberals fucking lose their minds over. Okay? One is Nigerians are the most educated in this country. Nigerian immigrants are the most educated, like double the amount of graduate school degrees in comparison to the white population in the United States. And then the second argument that always blows people's fucking minds and frustrates people is that Muslims are more tolerant. Muslim Americans are more tolerant of the LGBT community than white evangelical Protestants. Those are the two takes that are factually correct and yet make everyone fucking lose their minds. It's a pretty low bar, though, LMAO. You're right, but people get mad. Source on inclusive Muslims. I want to be able to quote. It's a Pew study. Bad move because conservatives will immediately say African migrant mindset is much more different than the African American who has been here for years. Candace Owens has done this. The African migrant mindset is much more different than the African American. Okay, so you understand that the African migrant mindset. Well, first of all, the reality is it's not the African migrant mindset. Well, I don't know why the fuck Candace Owens is like talking about different kind of black people, like she has fucking the calipers out to measure phenotypes and cranial density. What a psycho. Straight up white supremacist psychopath, despite the fact that she is black. Including all Muslims compared to only evangelicals? Yes. What subgroup has more power in the United States? More political power? You think evangelicals or Muslim Americans? Which sect of Christianity, or whatever the fuck you want to consider it, versus an entire group of immigrants or Americans that believe in a religion, has more power in American politics? Muslims, obviously. Yeah, you're right. That's why we're living in Sharia law, brother. people be like, Ilhan Omar is a fucking trying to do Sharia law in America, while also advocating, while also completely overlooking the fact that like Ilhan Omar is like pro-trans rights and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, Ilhan Omar, brother, she's trying to do Sharia law. I know it. I know it, brother. I know it. I know it. I seen it. I hate it. Also, at the same time, though, you know, yeah, we don't want to do trans rights around these parts, of course. Get the fuck out of here. What are you, crazy? You out of your goddamn mind? Did Hasan do his ad yet? No, I haven't. It's also top of the hour. Every hour it's time for a 60-second ad break, folks. So going to run that ad, and then after that, we're diving back into the fucking... We're diving back into the clean boys, you know. Does anyone have the song? What about Italian law? The law of marinara? I hear what you're saying, but I think you're vastly overlooking the fact that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 are coming to the Nintendo Switch next year. No, not this one. The other one. The Clean Boys Run These Streets. That one. The mobbing theme, you know?
Okay, it's time I get a little something off my chest, okay?
There it is.
This one's for the boys. Those clean boys. Let's see. I praise the cow. Yeah.